One of the most sensational stories coming out of the United States recently is the story of a school bus driver who was charged with rape and kidnapping of 3 young women who were held captive for more than 10 years in a West Cleveland home. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the story now of Amanda Berry, who was able to escape from the home of 52-year-old Ariel Castro along with 2 other victims. The 3 girls vanished between 2002 and 2004. Berry's 6-year-old daughter is believed to have been fathered by Castro. Castro's methods are rather simple but effective. He would offer young girls a ride home and reassure them that either his son has a similar job or that the girls and his daughter are classmates. Now, the news story has attracted a lot of attention from Weibo users, so let's take a look at what they had to say about the kidnappings.
This is just horrific. I think the deviant nature of humanity is not something that can be corrected with education. What's wrong with the world today? Why are there so many weird stories of weird people doing weird things? However, I must say that the girl looked really good and healthy for someone who's been kidnapped and raped for 10 years. There are so many people out there with diseased minds. I can't believe he kept her for 10 years. This guy is obviously disturbed or has some mental condition. I guess after years of captivity, they just got used to it, and somewhere deep in the back of her mind, she accepted it as her fate. Otherwise, why would it take her 10 years to escape? She had 3,650 days to plan an escape.
Now, a similar case also happened in China, where late last year, a government clerk named Li Hao from central China was sentenced to death for keeping 6 women in a dungeon as sex slaves, and also for 2 murders against his victims. According to court papers, Li dug the dungeon himself under the basement of an apartment building. He tricked 6 women into going to his home and then locked them up in the basement. Court papers also said that Li repeatedly raped the women and forced them to appear in obscene web shows from March to April of 2011. He also pimped them out to customers for a few days from late August to September. The women were held for around 21 months. Now, Li's horror dungeon was discovered after one of the women fled and reported the situation to the local police. Surprisingly, the building above the dungeon was a regular residential building with plenty of foot traffic, but no one suspected there was something nefarious happening under their feet. And now many Chinese internet users were shocked by the news of the sex dungeon. However, others were unsurprised given the tendency of Chinese people to mind their own business. Now, on the other hand, the Amanda Berry story seemed harder to believe. Now, many Weibo users wondered how or why the 3 girls, given the freedom to live on the 2nd floor of the house, didn't plan their escape sooner, or why they didn't simply just make a run for it and scream for help when Castro took them outside. Well, let's take a look at a few more comments.
This is just hard to believe. For 10 years he was able to keep it a secret, and his neighbors never thought that there was something wrong? I thought we lived in a civilized time. This story makes me angry. I also don't understand how the 3 girls were kept in a way that they couldn't escape for 10 years. Does he chain them up every day? Does he sit in a room with security cameras? Surely the 3 girls can overpower him with chairs and knives. This is horrific news from a country at peace. If you go to some war-torn countries, you'll find that stories like these are considered mild. There are similar cases in China. It's really scary if you think about it.
Some Chinese internet users pointed out the need for women to better defend themselves. And it just so happens that another Weibo post about the NRA convention mentioned the new pink bra gun holster. Coupled with news of a working 3D printed gun, it just might become a reality in China. And that's it for this segment of On the Radar. Next up on What's Buzzing, Weibo users buzz about parents taking money from their children's savings account and China's $75 billion aid to Africa.